Chapter 1097. Although Lin Yan was extremely anxious, she didn't have a good solution. At the moment, it was a fact that Wang Jingyang had gone missing. However, it was still unknown whether Wang Jingyang had been captured by Si Bai or not. However, no matter how Lin Yan thought about it, there was no reason for Wang Jingyang's disappearance. Unless Si Bai had done it, there was no other explanation. There's no need to think about it. It must be that bastard, Si Bai, Li Si told Lin Yan. I really didn't expect that bastard Si Bai, who is a high-level evolved being, would actually attack an ordinary person. Kid, how did you offend Si Bai? Why does he hate you so much that he wouldn't hesitate to attack an ordinary person? Zhang San's eyes were filled with curiosity. Lin Yan looked helpless when she heard Zhang San. She didn't know Si Bai at all, so how could she have a feud with him? I don't have a feud with Si Bai, Lin Yan answered truthfully. Kid, you don't have a feud with Si Bai? Zhang San and Li Si were taken aback when they heard Lin Yan. The two brothers exchanged a glance. Kid, tell the truth. How did you offend Si Bai? Zhang San didn't believe Lin Yan's explanation. If there wasn't a deep feud, why would Si Bai cause trouble for Lin Yan so many times and even capture an ordinary person? I really don't have a feud. He said that I owe him money. Lin Yan sighed. You owe Si Bai money? Zhang San and Li Si were taken aback when they heard that. So, after all this time, there was a financial dispute between the two of them? However, it was only right and proper for one to repay a debt, right? How much do you owe him? Li Si asked. He said that I owe him 10 billion yuan, Lin Yan replied instinctively. When Lin Yan said 10 billion yuan, Zhang San and Li Si's expressions changed instantly. They stood up at the same time. How much? 10 billion yuan. Is it the 10 billion yuan that we usually know? Or is it 10 billion yuan from the Heaven and Earth Bank? Lin Yan was speechless. It should be 10 billion yuan, replied Lin Yan. Zhang San and Li Si gasped as they stared at Lin Yan in shock. I say, kid, you owe us too much. Do you know how much we two brothers' monthly wages are? 10 billion. 10 billion. Zhang San exclaimed. Brother, what does this have to do with our salaries? This little girl is clearly in the wrong. As the saying goes, it's only right to repay a debt. Since she owes Si Bai so much, she should return it to him. Li Si frowned. Hearing that, Zhang San nodded. Yes. You're right. If you owe money, you have to pay it back. I say, why would Si Bai find trouble with an ordinary person because of you? It's 10 billion yuan. If it were me, I would kill anyone who owes me so much money and doesn't give it to me, let alone an ordinary person. Lass, this is your problem. Why didn't you say so earlier that you owe him so much money? Let me tell you, you'd better return 10 billion yuan to Si Bai obediently, Li Si said to Lin Yan. Lin Yan glanced at Zhang San and Li Si in shock. Were these two brothers even speaking human language? 10 billion yuan? Si Bai's money? She wouldn't be able to afford it even if she sold herself. Chapter 1098. Hold on. Who owes Si Bai 10 billion yuan? Lin Yan frowned. Didn't you just say that you owe Si Bai 10 billion yuan? It's not from the Heaven and Earth Bank. It's a regular 10 billion yuan. Zhang San quipped. Lin Yan replied solemnly. Si Bai said that I owe him 10 billion yuan. I don't even know this person. How could I borrow money from him? Besides, does he have that much money to lend me? He's obviously extorting me. No, he's trying to blackmail me. After the two brothers looked at each other, Zhang San was the first to speak. Oh, I understand. What you mean is that you don't know Si Bai at all. Si Bai said that you owe him 10 billion yuan. That's a fabrication. Yes. That must be it. Or maybe he recognized the wrong person, quipped Lin Yan. That can't be. Si-bai, that B** starred, is so arrogant to extort 10 billion yuan. He has to look at you first. You don't look like a rich person, quipped Li Si. Yeah. Lin Yan nodded repeatedly. Look, I don't look like a rich person. Lin Yan stood up and pointed at her shirt. I bought it from a street stall. It cost 99 yuan. She then pointed at her pants and shoes. I bought it online. It added up to 150 yuan. If I had that much money, I would just stay at home and wait to die. Why would I start a team to earn money? I'm not that free. Then according to what you said, he might have recognized the wrong person? Zhang San asked thoughtfully. Although Si-bai was very rich, it was impossible for him to lend 10 billion yuan so casually. How much money did Si-bai have? Seniors, I suspect that my friend was kidnapped by Si-bai. Can you help me find Si-bai? Lin Yan asked anxiously. The most important thing now wasn't to recognize the wrong person or borrow 10 billion yuan. First, she had to find Wang Jingyang or rescue him from Si-bai. After all, this matter had started because of him. Lin Yan couldn't let Wang Jingyang fall into danger because of her, even though he might already be in danger. Little girl, it's not a problem to find Si-bai, but, are you sure? If I help you find Si-bai, wouldn't you be walking into a trap? Asked Zhang San. Lin Yan grinned and replied, it's fine. Just help me find him. Lin Yan didn't take Si-bai seriously. He was merely a defeated opponent who had been defeated by her twice. What was there to be afraid of? I don't think this is good. It's easy to alert the enemy. Si-bai must have captured your friend for you. He must have a purpose. I believe Si-bai will contact you soon, Li Si said after some thought. Lin Yan was startled when she heard that. These two brothers. Why did they suddenly become enlightened and have a brain today? It wasn't their style. Lin Yan had been too preoccupied with Wang Jingyang's disappearance and had neglected many things. Li Si was right. If Wang Jingyang had really been captured by Si-bai, then Si-bai would definitely contact him. During this period of time, Wang Jingyang should be relatively safe. However, Lin Yan had to make some preparations. What if Si-bai did not contact her, or if he only captured the people around him because he wanted to take revenge on her? Lin Yan immediately set a deadline. 3 days. If Si-bai didn't contact her within 3 days, she could only dig a hole for Si-bai to jump into and force him to reveal Wang Jingyang's whereabouts. Chapter 1099. Lin Yan pondered for a moment and came up with a plan. Just as the two brothers, Zhang San and Li Si, had said before, it was not wise to find Si-bai at this time and play hard with him. Even if she found Si-bai, she had to take him down in one fell swoop. She couldn't let him escape. However, Lin Yan hadn't had such a record in her previous 2 encounters. Lin Yan hadn't been able to make Si-bai stay, especially the second time. She had been ambushed by Si-bai. According to Wang Jingyang, Si-bai had run away before she had fainted. If he continued to fight with Si-bai this time and let him escape again, Si-bai would be furious and vent his anger on Wang Jingyang. If he accidentally killed Wang Jingyang, it wouldn't be good. Seniors, do you know what Si-bai's hobbies are? Lin Yan's gaze landed on Zhang San and Li Si as she asked softly. We aren't familiar with Si-bai. Zhang San shook his head. Since we aren't familiar with him, how could we know his hobbies? I know, brother. I know. Suddenly, Li Si's eyes lit up. You know? Zhang San was startled. Let me tell you. Don't tell anyone. The branch president said that. Si-bai, that bastard, loves to ask girls out. Li Si replied. Ask girls out? What do you mean? Why would he ask a girl out? Zhang San was puzzled. I heard that he brings a girl to a hotel to spend the night. She has to be a beautiful girl. Li Si grinned. Zhang San glared at him. Si Bai, that bastard. That bastard. I'm so envious. Lin Yan was speechless. Li Si was speechless. Zhang San frowned when he saw Lin Yan and Li Si looking at him strangely. No. I mean, I'm envious of that girl. Lin Yan studied Zhang San with a strange expression. This old man's interests were really unique. Wasn't his taste a little too heavy? Li Si exclaimed, huh? Brother, you. No. I'm not envious of that girl. I'm confused by all of you. Actually, what I mean is that I'm envious of these young people. They can spend the night anywhere. Unlike me, I can't sleep in an unfamiliar place. Hearing this, Li Si had a puzzled look on his face. Home and bed? Brother, that can't be right. We often go out on missions, and it's normal for us to be away for a month or two. I see that you sleep earlier than anyone else every day, and you sleep more soundly than anyone else. Impudent. Zhang San glared at Li Si fiercely. What do you know? You eat more than anyone else and work less than anyone else. You can't do anything. Shut up. Lin Yan was speechless. Tell me about Si Bai's hobbies first, Lin Yan replied helplessly. Si Bai also likes to gamble. Li Si said, beautiful girls and gambling. There doesn't seem to be anything else. Lin Yan fell into deep thought. Gambling money wasn't important. What was important was where to find a pretty girl. If that doesn't work, we can set up a bet and use a honey trap, Lin Yan said thoughtfully. That sounds good. The bet is simple, but where can I find a beauty? Zhang San's eyes darted to Lin Yan before he averted his gaze. Lin Yan was speechless. Why was Zhang San looking at her with such disdain? Before Lin Yan could reply, she received a text from Xiao Yao. Come to my office. After Zhang San and Li Si got off work, Lin Yan headed to Xiao Yao's office. Lin Yan's eyes lit up when she saw Xiao Yao. Chapter 1100. Xiao Yao, who was sitting in his office, couldn't help but frown when he saw Lin Yan striding to his side and looking at him with sparkling eyes. Is there something on my face? Xiao Yao asked softly as he gazed at Lin Yan. Lin Yan shook her head and nodded. Boss, I realized that you're really handsome today. If she wasn't confident of taking down Si Bai, how about adding Xiao Yao to the mix? Although Lin Yan wasn't sure about Xiao Yao's evolution, she was certain that he wouldn't be low. In fact, he might even surpass her. If Xiao Yao was willing to help, why would he need to resort to a honey trap? He would just get Zhang San and Li Si to trick Si Bai out. Then, she and Xiao Yao would definitely be able to take down that B*TCH. Handsome? Xiao Yao was puzzled when he heard Lin Yan. What do you mean? Nothing. Boss, can I discuss something with you? Lin Yan glanced at Xiao Yao and chuckled softly. Xiao Yao glanced at Lin Yan. I asked you to come because I have some work to arrange. Aren't you putting the cart before the horse? Lin Yan was speechless. All right, what is it? I'll finish it as soon as possible. Lin Yan nodded. However, although the company was huge, Lin Yan hadn't seen any customers yet. Did such a huge company really not need to do business to make a profit? That was too strange. It's a translation job, but there's no hurry. You can tell me about it first, said Xiao Yao. Boss, a friend of mine was captured by a powerful evolved being. I want to capture that evolved being and force him to reveal my friend's whereabouts, said Lin Yan hastily. Okay, go ahead. I'll give you a few days off, Xiao Yao replied calmly. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. Was this fellow serious? If she was confident, why would she need his help? What's more, what she lacked was fake. Boss, the evolved being who kidnapped my friend is at a high level. I'm afraid that I won't be able to take him down alone, so... Lin Yan glanced at Xiao Yao awkwardly. Xiao Yao studied Lin Yan thoughtfully. So you plan to give up on your friend and ignore his life? Lin Yan was speechless. For some reason, Xiao Ji's image surfaced in Lin Yan's mind as she looked at Xiao Yao. The way they spoke was really similar, and they both had the surname Xiao. Could they be long-lost brothers? No. I'm such a loyal person. How could I not save my friend? What I mean is that I'm not confident that I can defeat Si Bai, so I want your help. Lin Yan grinned at Xiao Yao. You want my help? Xiao Yao was slightly stunned. Why should I help you deal with an evolver with a high evolutionary level? Lin Yan was taken aback. She hadn't thought of a reason. Why should I make enemies for you? Do you think that's reasonable? Xiao Yao asked. Because. Lin Yan fell into deep thought. Why? Xiao Yao asked. Because. Lin Yan was in a dilemma. Xiao Yao was right. Why would he want to make an enemy out of her? It didn't make sense. Because we're friends. Is that what you want to say? Xiao Yao stared at Lin Yan. Instinctively, Lin Yan nodded. I can accept this reason. I can help you, Xiao Yao replied calmly. Lin Yan was speechless. Chapter 1101. Lin Yan stared at Xiao Yao in bewilderment. Was he making fun of her? However, Xiao Yao didn't seem like he was teasing her on purpose. He looked serious. It seems like the person who was kidnapped is a very important friend of yours, Xiao Yao replied calmly. Lin Yan, who was taken aback, glanced at Xiao Yao in surprise. Boss, how did you know? Because you're very anxious. You're so anxious that you can't even think of a reason for me to help you, Xiao Yao replied expressionlessly. Lin Yan was speechless. Was he serious? Tell me the whole story. Who is your friend? Who is the evolved being who kidnapped your friend? Asked Xiao Yao. Lin Yan perked up and said, my friend's name is Wang Jingyang. He's just an ordinary person. Who did you say your friend is? Xiao Yao frowned. He's an ordinary person, Lin Yan explained. I didn't ask you if he's an ordinary person. I asked you what his name is, Xiao Yao replied. His name is Wang Jingyang. It means woof when a dog barks, Jing as in scenery, and yang as in sunshine, Lin Yan replied truthfully. Wang Jingyang. Xiao Yao sat in his office chair and spun it around to look at the scenery outside the window. A friend of Xiao Ji's. Is that his name? Xiao Yao was deep in thought. Xiao Yao remembered that Lin Yan had a close friend overseas. He looked like an ordinary person, but his power as an evolved being was unfathomable. Furthermore, he seemed to have a good relationship with Xiao Ji. Could that person be Wang Jingyang? An evolved being with unfathomable power had been kidnapped? That didn't seem realistic. Who kidnapped your friend? Xiao Yao pressed on. The person who kidnapped my friend is Si Bai. He's a powerful evolved being. Besides, I heard that he has a relationship with a senior executive of the Hunters Guild. Lin Yan had to tell Xiao Yao everything she knew, including the fact that Si Bai had a relationship with a senior executive of the Hunters Guild. If she hid this matter, Xiao Yao might offend the Hunters Guild. Hence, it was up to Xiao Yao whether he was willing to help or not. Boss, I have to make it clear in advance. If you help me, you might offend the Hunters Guild, so. Lin Yan sighed. Si Bai? Xiao Yao raised his brows again. Are you sure it was Si Bai who kidnapped Wang Jingyang? Given Si Bai's evolved level, was it possible for him to kidnap Lin Yan's friend, who had been inseparable from her when she was abroad? Furthermore, even if Wang Jingyang was in a weakened state and had lost his rationality, the most likely outcome would be to severely injure Si Bai. It was impossible for him to let Si Bai kidnap him. Of course, there were two other possibilities. One was that he had made a mistake back then. Perhaps Lin Yan's friend wasn't as strong as he had expected. Besides, He hadn't gone through the period of weakness and his evolution had regressed. That wasn't impossible. There's a 99% chance that it's him, replied Lin Yan. Xiaoyao, after a moment, Xiaoyao said, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Disappointment filled Lin Yan's eyes, but she didn't blame Xiaoyao. After all, Sibai was related to the higher-ups of the Hunters Guild, so Xiaoyao had his own concerns. I'm not afraid of the Hunters Guild. Xiaoyao seemed to have guessed what Lin Yan was thinking. Then, boss, who are you? Lin Yan was puzzled. Chapter 1102. Xiaoyao stared at Lin Yan for a moment before he asked, Do you still remember? Remember what? Asked Lin Yan. I reminded you not to provoke Sibai, replied Xiaoyao. Lin Yan was speechless. How could she remember? However, he had reminded her to be careful of Sibai. Boss, do you know Sibai? Lin Yan was startled. She could tell what Xiaoyao was implying. A long time ago, Sibai and I were friends, Xiaoyao told Lin Yan softly. Lin Yan was startled when she heard Xiaoyao. What had he said? He was friends with Sibai. Isn't this world a little too small? Her boss was actually friends with Sibai, who had kidnapped his friend, and she had actually asked her boss to help her hit his friend. However, Lin Yan quickly grasped another detail. If she hadn't heard wrongly, Xiaoyao had said that they had been friends a long time ago. They had been friends in the past. Boss, what's your relationship with Sibai now? Asked Lin Yan curiously. It doesn't matter now, but we still have a past relationship. It's not convenient for me to attack Sibai, replied Xiaoyao. Lin Yan pondered for a moment before she nodded. Boss, it's okay. I can understand. However, although it's not convenient for me to attack Sibai, I can help you and provide you with everything you need. As long as I don't do anything, everything will be fine, said Xiaoyao. Lin Yan's eyes lit up as she hurriedly said, Boss, since you and Sibai used to be friends, can you contact him and ask him to let my friend go? I really don't have a feud with him. It was all a misunderstanding. He insisted that I owed him 10 billion yuan, 10 billion yuan? Xiaoyao was taken aback. Why did you lend him so much money? Lin Yan was speechless. I don't even know him. How could I have any financial dealings with him? If I really had 10 billion yuan, would I have worked for you? Lin Yan glanced at Xiaoyao helplessly. Xiaoyao, Zhang San, and Li Si had the same reaction. They thought too highly of her. They were borrowing 10 billion yuan, not 100 yuan. She was willing to lend it, but would anyone lend it to her? Forget it. I don't want to know the reason. It has nothing to do with me. Xiaoyao said, You just told me to contact Sibai and let your friend go. Yeah. Lin Yan nodded. It would be great if this could solve the problem. I can do that, but you have to be mentally prepared. If Sibai doesn't agree, this will alert the enemy, Xiaoyao said. Lin Yan was speechless. After thinking about it carefully, he decided to forget it. Xiaoyao's words made sense. If Xiaoyao's reputation was not that great, Wang Jingyang would suffer. Boss, I've asked around before. Sibai is a gambler, and you also like to make friends with beautiful women, right? Xiaoyao said. Lin Yan grinned. I guess so. What do you want? Xiaoyao asked. Lin Yan replied without hesitation, Boss, since you can't do it, I will think of a way to poison his food and drink. I will knock him out and make him lose his ability to fight. Then, I will interrogate him about my friend's whereabouts. Chapter 1103. Lin Yan was in a dilemma when she heard Xiaoyao. She couldn't do this or that. Was there no other way? I have another idea. Lin Yan's eyes flickered as she stared at Xiaoyao. Speak, replied Xiaoyao. A honey trap. As long as we get close to Sibai, we can find a chance to poison him. Lin Yan grinned. That's feasible, but where is the beauty? Xiao Yao blurted out instinctively. Lin Yan was speechless. She was wrong. Xiao Yao wasn't Xiao Ji's long-lost brother. He was Zhang San and Li Si's long-lost brother. What do you think of me? Lin Yan pointed at herself. Where's the beauty? She's clearly right in front of you, okay? Where are these people's eyes? Xiao Yao's gaze landed on Lin Yan's face as he replied calmly, you only account for half of the word beauty. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up. Beauty? Xiao Ji shook his head and replied softly, human. Lin Yan was speechless. She knew a skilled ophthalmologist. Should she introduce him to Zhang San, Li Si, and Xiao Yao? Lin Yan suddenly missed Pei Yuqing very much. If only Pei Yuqing was here. If she and Pei Yuqing worked together, they would definitely be able to take down Si Bai easily. She didn't know how Pei Yuqing was doing in the Pei family, so she didn't want to distract him at this critical juncture. Boss, do you have a way to prevent Si Bai from recognizing me? Lin Yan asked Xiao Yao. Yes, and it's very simple. I can use mental interference. Even if you appear in front of him, he won't recognize you, replied Xiao Yao. Impressive. Lin Yan gave Xiao Yao a thumbs up. All right, it's decided then. Lin Yan replied confidently. Decide what? Xiao Yao was puzzled. Boss, use mental interference. As long as Si Bai doesn't recognize me, I can use a honey trap and find an opportunity to poison him, replied Lin Yan. I refuse, Xiao Yao replied without hesitation. Anyone can use a honey trap, but you can't. I can't? Lin Yan was so angry that she burst out laughing. He was looking down on her. Besides, Xiao Yao could use mental interference to make Si Bai think that she was beautiful. I said no. If you insist, I won't help you, replied Xiao Yao. Lin Yan was speechless. Sure enough, he had no choice but to lower his head when he was under the eaves. I already have a plan. I will invite Si Bai to participate in the gambling house and arrange a girl in the gambling house. Just leave the honey trap to her, and she will complete the mission of poisoning Si Bai. As for you, you just need to follow me, said Xiao Yao. Lin Yan nodded. That was a good idea. Xiao Yao had arranged a gambling house. With Si Bai's gambling addiction, he would definitely participate. Si Bai would definitely take a fancy to a beautiful woman at the gambling house. Everything was going according to plan. Hold on. Aren't you taking things for granted? What if Si Bai doesn't like the girl you arranged for him? Lin Yan frowned. Then there's no other way, Xiao Yao said expressionlessly. Lin Yan sighed heavily. Why did she feel so unreliable? Besides, given Xiao Yao's temper, would he really have any friends? Go back and wait for my news. I will bring the girl over tomorrow. You can meet her and discuss the specific plan, Xiao Yao said. Lin Yan nodded, thinking that it would be good to meet her. At the very least, she would know what to do. Besides, she had to thank this girl for her help. Chapter 1104. The next day, in Xiao Yao's office, when it was time to meet Xiao Yao, Lin Yan pushed the door open and entered. In the office, a beautiful young girl was sitting in Xiao Yao's seat. When the girl saw Lin Yan, she stood up and smiled at her. You must be Miss Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded and scrutinized the girl. She had to admit that the girl in front of her was very outstanding. If she were to enter the entertainment industry, she would definitely be a fairy. Lin Yan guessed that this girl should be the main character of Xiao Yao's honey trap. Her appearance was impeccable, and she could indeed be considered a beauty. Where's boss? Lin Yan realized that there was no one else in the office. Boss. Oh, you're talking about Sir. Sir brought the members of the Aurora team to training early in the morning. He should be taking them to lunch now. The girl grinned. He brought my team to training? Lin Yan was startled when she heard that. With Xiao Yao's skills, how could he bring those professional team members to training? What was he thinking? Who gave him the courage? If Xiao Yao was allowed to train, wouldn't the Aurora team be crippled? Before Lin Yan could reply, she heard footsteps outside. A few seconds later, the door opened and Xiao Yao walked in. You're here. Xiao Yao's gaze landed on Lin Yan as he spoke softly. Sir, Miss Lin Yan just arrived, said the girl. Boss, did you bring the team members to training? Lin Yan's gaze landed on Xiao Yao, which was a little strange. Yeah, replied Xiao Yao. How was the training? Lin Yan smiled awkwardly. It was all right, replied Xiao Yao. Under my guidance, the team members improved greatly. Lin Yan was speechless. Was he serious when he said that? Who were those people? They were all famous professional racers in the country. Any one of them could be Xiao Yao's mentor. In the end, he had brought the entire team to training and boasted that they had improved greatly under his guidance. Boss Xiao Yao, your racing skills are amazing. You're comparable to the racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva. Before Lin Yan could reply, Qi Feng and the rest of the team members walked in. All of them had inexplicable smiles on their faces. Sister, you're here too. He Lifeng glanced at Lin Yan. Lin Yan was speechless. Who was the one who had said that Xiao Yao's racing skills were comparable to Yeva's? Please step forward and slap him in the face. How could he say that? Boss Xiao Yao, you're really amazing. Do you have time tomorrow? How about we continue training? One of the members of the Aurora team looked at Xiao Yao and smiled. That's right. Ever since I trained with Boss Xiao Yao today, I suddenly feel that my strength has improved unprecedentedly. Boss Xiao Yao's understanding of racing is really amazing. No one can compare to his level of detail. Listening to him is better than studying for 10 years. Xiao Yao glanced at them and replied expressionlessly, we don't have time for the next 2 days. You guys can train with Lin Yan first. Lin Yan? Boss Xiao Yao, how can Miss Lin Yan compare to you? The two of you are worlds apart in terms of understanding and control of the team. You are like the bright moon and a firefly. How can you be compared? The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. What was wrong with these people? Chapter 1105. How could they belittle her and praise Xiao Yao? Besides, had these people trained with her? Since they hadn't, how could they say that? That's right. Boss Xiao Yao, my sister is far inferior to you. He Lifeng chimed in hastily. Yes, yes, yes. My goddess isn't on the same level as you. Mo Shuyun chimed in. Lin Yan was speechless. Are you blind? Lin Yan glanced at them. Are you sure that Boss's racing skills are better than Yeva's? Qi Feng suddenly jumped out. Of course. Boss Xiao Yao's racing skills are unprecedented. You don't understand at all. That's right, Miss Lin Yan. What do you know? Boss Xiao Yao's racing skills are beyond our comprehension. One of the Aurora team members chimed in. Lin Yan was dumbfounded. What had happened? Do you think that my racing skills aren't as good as Yeva's? Suddenly, Xiao Yao's eyes landed on Lin Yan, looking displeased. Before Lin Yan could respond, Xiao Yao took a stamp out of his drawer. Lin Yan's pupils constricted when she saw the stamp. This, even Mo Shuyun, Qi Feng, and the others stared intently at the stamp. The father of racing's limited edition stamp? Lin Yan was shocked as she blurted out in disbelief. F***CK. This stamp is too terrifying. Compared to this, the stamp that Boss Xiao Yao gave us just now is nothing. Qi Feng blurted out anxiously. Lin Yan was startled when she heard that. So, these people were bragging here because Xiao Yao had given them some limited stamps of the father of racing? The father of racing stamp was a limited edition stamp used to commemorate the father of racing in the last century. There were less than 100 of them in the world, and each one was extremely precious. The stamp in Xiao Yao's hand was extremely precious. This kind of stamp was worthless to people who didn't like racing, but it was extremely precious to professional racers like them. Boss Xiao Yao gave everyone a stamp of the father of racing to commemorate the establishment of our team, said Qi Feng. Is that all you've got? Lin Yan glanced at Qi Feng and the others and replied coldly, it's just a stamp. What's there to say? What's important is the technique. It's your good fortune that boss can train you. Boss's racing skills are enough for you to learn for the rest of your lives. Are stamps more important than the skills boss teaches you? Everyone was dumbfounded when they heard her. How could this woman change her attitude so quickly? Just a moment ago, there were 7 people who were not convinced, 8 people who were not convinced, and 8 people who were not convinced, but in the blink of an eye, they started to quarrel with them? Yeah, that's right. Miss Lin Yan said exactly what I wanted to say. Are stamps important? No, it's mainly Boss Xiao Yao's racing skills and experience. Sigh, what a pity. If Boss Xiao Yao were to take action personally, why would we need to participate in the 3rd division? We could directly go to the 1st division and casually take 1st place. Qi Feng said seriously. Isn't that obvious? Even the racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, would have to learn from you. Lin Yan nodded vigorously. The corners of Yilifeng's mouth twitched as he turned to Lin Yan. He had thought that they were already very good at sucking up to her. Compared to his sister, they were still lacking. Lin Yan's eyes were fixed on the stamp in Xiao Yao's hand. Chapter 1106. This is for you. Xiao Yao passed the stamp to Lin Yan. Boss, I'm so sorry. Lin Yan grinned as she accepted the stamp. The father of racing's stamp in his hand was genuine. It had been around 150 years since it was issued. SD was Lin Yan's idol. Back when she had been overseas, she had tried to get a stamp for him. However, there had been no news of it. Lin Yan hadn't expected that Xiao Yao would have a set of the father of racing stamps. The one in her hand was especially precious. Is this valuable? The girl beside Xiao Yao studied the stamp curiously. It's worth a penny to you, but it's very precious to us. Qi Feng smiled. These stamps weren't worth much, but they held a special meaning for racers. Any racer with such a stamp would be able to brag about themselves in the future. If there's nothing else, please head back first. I still have work to do, said Xiao Yao. Okay. Boss, you're busy. When you're free, you must bring us to train and spur us on. Qi Feng nodded. After everyone left, Xiao Yao glanced at Lin Yan. She is the main character of your honey trap. Her name is Rainbow. Hello, Miss Rainbow. Lin Yan smiled at the girl. Miss Lin Yan, you're being too polite. You can just call me Little Rainbow, replied Rainbow. When do you think we should ask Sibai out? Xiao Yao asked Lin Yan. How about tonight? Asked Lin Yan. There had been no news of Wang Jingyang, so Lin Yan was worried. Yu Sibai had to appear as soon as possible. If he was late, Lin Yan was afraid that Wang Jingyang would be in danger. Can I, Miss Rainbow? Lin Yan's eyes trailed to Rainbow. Rainbow grinned and replied, Miss Lin Yan, don't worry. I will definitely satisfy you. Lin Yan was speechless. It was useless to satisfy her. Sibai, that bastard, must be satisfied. Do you think Sibai will like her? Xiao Yao asked Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded repeatedly. If I were Sibai, I would definitely like him. Xiao Yao didn't say anything. Instead, he called Sibai and gestured for them to keep quiet. Speak. Soon, Sibai's voice came from the phone. There's a bet. Do you want to play? Xiao Yao said indifferently. As Xiao Yao said the word bet, Sibai's voice was clearly filled with great interest. Gambling house. What kind of gambling house? How many people are there? How are we going to play? There aren't many people, but there's a lot of money, said Xiao Yao. Xiao Yao, since when did you like gambling? I don't remember you having such a hobby. Play, or don't play, Xiao Yao said impatiently. Of course I'll play. Just send me the time and place. I'll be there anytime. See you later. Lin Yan's expression was odd as she watched Xiao Yao hang up. Wasn't it too simple? Si Bai is a gambler, right? Rainbow said from the side. He just likes to gamble, but he rarely wins. Perhaps he is obsessed with winning, Xiao Yao said. You rarely win? Lin Yan was curious. That's right. I've never heard of him winning before. He might win once or twice out of 100 bets, said Xiao Yao. Lin Yan was astonished. This is the legendary boy of wealth? You can understand it that way. Xiao Yao nodded. I've decided. Suddenly, Lin Yan gritted her teeth. I want to participate in this bet too. I'll help you make up the numbers. End of this chapter. Chapter 1107. That's what I plan to do, replied Xiao Yao. All right. Then what should we bet on? I don't know anything else. Can we play Fight the Landlord? Asked Lin Yan curiously. It should be possible. As long as it's a gamble, Si Bai doesn't care, replied Xiao Yao. Lin Yan grinned as she felt more confident. She had never lost at Fight the Landlord. Xiao Yao's gaze landed on Lin Yan. He seemed to have guessed what Lin Yan was thinking. He frowned and said, this bet is for Rainbow to successfully use a honey trap. He wants Si Bai to take the bait and force him to reveal the whereabouts of your friend. It's not for you to win money. Lin Yan was speechless. Xiao Yao had seen through her little scheme in an instant. Boss, how many people do you need? Do we have enough manpower? Lin Yan ignored this question and asked Xiao Yao. You can bring more people, but it's best if they are ordinary people. Too many evolved beings might arouse Si Bai's suspicion, said Xiao Yao. Lin Yan was in a dilemma. There didn't seem to be such a person around her. Wang Jingyang wasn't around. Should she bring He Lifeng over? In the evening. In a villa in the suburbs, He Lifeng, who was following Lin Yan, couldn't help but sigh. Sister, our boss is too extravagant. Isn't he afraid of living alone in such a big house? Lin Yan glanced at He Lifeng and quipped, do you want to discuss with him about letting you stay with him? Sure. He Lifeng nodded hurriedly. I think so. I can cook for our boss when I'm free. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. How could her brother be so thick-skinned? Who had he learned this from? Cut the crap. Have you remembered what I told you? Don't call me sister when you go in. Pretend that you don't know me. Lin Yan told He Lifeng. Sister, look at my shrewd face. Are you still worried about me? He Lifeng smiled. Don't forget that I was the one who pretended to be the boss to save you when you were being chased by Zhang San and Li Si. Lin Yan was speechless. Although she wanted to retort, she couldn't. That was the truth. Initially, Lin Yan hadn't planned to bring He Lifeng along. However, this fellow had been standing outside Xiao Yao's office. He Lifeng had overheard her conversation with Xiao Yao, so he had insisted on coming along. Feeling helpless, Lin Yan had no choice but to bring him along. He Lifeng had already known about evolved beings ever since Zhang San and Li Si had chased after her. Lin Yan hadn't hidden it from him. Sister, this is too exciting. Do you think I can become an evolved being? Sister, you're an evolved being. That means that our family has such genes. I think I might not have awakened yet. He Lifeng grabbed Lin Yan's wrist excitedly. Before Lin Yan could respond, He Lifeng added excitedly, Sister, don't worry. After I awaken and become an evolved being, no one will dare to bully you anymore. When that time comes, you can enjoy life at home. I'll give you a mountain of gold and silver. Lin Yan frowned at He Lifeng. Are you planning to rob a bank? Can't I? He Lifeng was taken aback. I've already become an evolved being and have superpowers. What can I do? Of course you can. Lin Yen grinned. The Hunters Guild will issue a wanted order for you the next day. End of this chapter. Chapter 1108. The headquarters of the Hunters Guild? He Lifeng, who was slightly taken aback by Lin Yan's question, asked in confusion, what is that for? I heard that the headquarters of the Hunters Guild is filled with high-level evolved beings who specialize in hunting evolved beings like you, explained Lin Yan. He Lifeng sneered coldly. What a joke. If I awaken and become an evolved being, why would I be afraid of the Hunters Guild? Of course, I wouldn't rob a bank. Am I that petty? I should maintain world peace. Of course, I'm definitely not afraid of the Hunters Guild. Lin Yan was speechless. I don't think you'll be able to become an evolved being in this lifetime, said Lin Yan. Huh? He Lifeng was disappointed. Sister, why? Didn't you say that you were able to become an evolved being because you were brought into a laboratory? Why don't you contact the laboratory and capture me to conduct a study? Lin Yan was speechless. Without giving He Lifeng a chance to retort, Lin Yan dragged him into the mansion. Xiao Yao, Rainbow, and the others were already in the villa. Other than the two of them, there were also two middle-aged men in suits and leather collars. Lin Yan sized up the two middle-aged men, who didn't look like evolved beings. Xiao Yao, I think this little beauty is more suitable to be the protagonist of a honey trap than Rainbow. One of the middle-aged men, who was wearing glasses, glanced at Lin Yan and chuckled softly. Ha ha ha. I think so too. Rainbow, you won't be angry, right? Asked the other middle-aged man. Rainbow chuckled softly. Of course not. Sister Lin Yan is indeed much prettier than me. Xiao Yao, are you interested in Miss Lin Yan? Otherwise, why didn't you ask her to use a honey trap on Si Bai? I think Si Bai will definitely take the bait. Xiao Yao glanced at the two of them. Si Bai knows her. Ha ha. So what if he knows her? Given your methods, Si Bai shouldn't be able to recognize her if you use your consciousness. Shut up, Xiao Yao hissed coldly. Boss, who are these two? Lin Yan glanced at Xiao Yao curiously. These two middle-aged men did not seem to be evolvers, but they seemed to know a lot about evolvers. Ha ha. Miss Lin Yan, you might not know this, but we used to be very powerful evolved beings. We are also Xiao Yao's old friends, said the bespectacled middle-aged man. Evolver? Lin Yan was startled. It didn't seem like it, it has degenerated. Si Bai seemed to have sensed Lin Yan's confusion as he explained. Degeneration? Lin Yan fell into deep thought. Pei Yuqing had told her that when an evolved being reached a certain level, there would be a period of weakness and collapse. If they could endure it, then the strength of the evolver would be greatly enhanced, and they would enter the next stage of evolution. Otherwise, they would degenerate and become an ordinary person again. As for the two middle-aged men in front of them, they did not survive the period of weakness, so they degenerated into ordinary people. What a pity, replied Lin Yan. Sigh, it's not a pity at all. One of the middle-aged men chuckled. Being invincible is also a kind of loneliness. Degenerating into an ordinary person, enjoying an ordinary life, doing some business, and having endless money to spend. You don't have to worry about being killed by other evolved beings, and you don't have to continue enduring the pain of being weak. This is simply great. Lin Yan was speechless. The main point of doing business was to have endless money to spend. End of this chapter. Chapter 1109. Lin Yan didn't know the two middle-aged men, but since Xiao Yao had brought them here, they shouldn't be a problem. Hence, Lin Yan didn't mind. Are the two of you here to participate in the gamble? He Lifeng, who was standing behind Lin Yan, sized them up and grinned. One of the middle-aged men turned to He Lifeng and said, "Little brother, you're right. Xiao Yao asked us to participate in the gamble." We know how to play poker and mahjong. He Lufeng nodded and instinctively said, he's an old gambler. As soon as He Lufeng finished speaking, everyone's eyes landed on him. Lin Yan glanced at He Lufeng. What had she been thinking? Why had she brought this idiot along? He Lufeng seemed to realize something and smiled awkwardly. What I mean is that I can tell that the two of you are proficient in all kinds of gambling techniques. You must be cheating experts. The kind that can't be detected by the surveillance cameras. The bespectacled middle-aged man looked slightly displeased. He didn't flare up on account of Xiao Yao. Little brother, what do you mean? Why did you say that we are cheating? Ha ha. We were just playing because we were free. If we lost, we lost. If we won, we won. It's not like we can't afford to lose. Why would we cheat? The other man quipped. He Lufeng scratched his head awkwardly. He was referring to cheating experts as a compliment, not a derogatory term. Sorry. My brother just woke up and is still in a daze. Please don't mind him. Lin Yan immediately stepped forward to explain. Miss Lin Yan, you're overthinking. The little brother is straightforward. We won't mind. Yeah, you're right. I like this little brother's inexperienced manner, said the bespectacled middle-aged man. Lin Yan was speechless. Xiao Yao glanced at Lin Yan and said, these two are my friends. They didn't participate in today's plan. I just invited them to have some fun. Besides, they don't know Si Bai. Behave normally. When Si Bai comes, just play with him. Leave the rest to Rainbow. Alright, I understand. Lin Yan nodded. Boss Xiao Yao, let me ask you something. Since they want to play. Is it real or fake? Asked He Lufeng. He's really having fun, Xiao Yao said. He Lufeng asked, can I win money? Xiao Yao glanced at He Lufeng and said, if you have the ability. Boss Xiao Yao, if you put it that way, I understand. He Lufeng looked a little excited. One last question. Speak. Who can give me some money? How can I play without money? This is what I'm thinking. Boss, you can give me money. If we win, we'll split it equally. If we lose, it's all yours. Is that worth it? He Lufeng hurriedly smiled. If we lose, it's on me. If we win, we get half. Do you think it's worth it? Xiao Yao asked. Before He Lufeng could retort, Lin Yan pulled him to her side and smiled awkwardly. I've embarrassed myself. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it, the bespectacled man smiled and said, it's okay. I like this little brother's inexperienced look. Lin Yan was speechless. Xiao Yao glanced at his phone and stopped everyone's conversation. Si Bai is already on his way. Rainbow, get ready. Chapter 11:10. Before Si Bai arrived, everything had been set up. He Lufeng took out a mahjong table from the basement and said excitedly, let's play mahjong. I'm known as the King of Sparrows. Lin Yan glanced at He Lufeng. You're still playing mahjong? Go ahead and play sparrows. You can't even recognize all of them. I don't have money for you to lose. Sister, you have to believe me. I'm really the King of Sparrows. There's no tile that I can't play. I once played mahjong with 3 old ladies and won them until they cried. He Lufeng quipped. Little brother, I like your inexperienced look. What's so fun about playing mahjong? The middle-aged man glanced at Lin Yan. Miss Lin, don't you agree? Lin Yan nodded without hesitation. Let's play Fight the Landlord. The smile on the middle-aged man's face gradually froze. The corners of his mouth twitched. Fight the Landlord? Wasn't that the game they had played when they were young? Sister, Fight the Landlord is fine too. He Lufeng replied immediately. I'm known as the King of Sparrows. Lin Yan was speechless. Sister, believe me. If I were a landlord, there would be no farmer that I couldn't defeat. If I were a farmer, there would be no landlord that I couldn't defeat. Heilifeng quipped. Before Lin Yan could speak, Xiao Yao gestured for her to be quiet. In a few seconds, someone knocked on the door. Is Si Bai here? Lin Yan asked softly. However, Xiao Yao didn't say anything. He walked to the door and opened it. Si Bai stood in front of the door and walked into the villa. Everyone's eyes landed on Si Bai. Slut, slut. Change money, change money. The macaw on Si Bai's shoulder suddenly shouted at Lin Yan. Lin Yan frowned. Did that damn parrot know her? There were so many people in the hall, yet it was shouting at her. Shut up. Si Bai glanced at the macaw. I know her. In Si Bai's eyes, Lin Yan's face was completely unfamiliar. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief. She couldn't help but size up Xiao Yao. This ability was way too powerful. Si Bai, let me introduce you. Xiao Yao stood beside Si Bai and pointed at the two middle-aged men. These two are my friends. They like to play in their free time. Si Bai glanced at the two of them and waved his hand. There's no need to introduce me. I'm here to play, not to make friends. But let me say this first. You can play anything, but I won't play. Do you want to play landlord? Lin Yan glanced at Si Bai and asked instinctively. Si Bai's eyes landed on Lin Yan and he sized her up for a long time. How should I address this beautiful lady? Si Bai glanced at Lin Yan. The impatience on his face disappeared and was replaced by a smile. My name is. Get rich Lin, replied Lin Yan. Get rich? Si Bai was slightly taken aback and immediately said, good name. This name is grand and pleasant to the ears. Hello, Mr. Si Bai. My name is Rainbow. I've heard of your name in some casinos. Suddenly, Rainbow stepped forward and blocked Lin Yan's way. She smiled gently at Si Bai. Miss, can you move aside? You're blocking my line of sight and hindering my interaction with Miss Get Rich. Si Bai frowned. End of this chapter. Chapter 11:11. Everyone, including Heilifeng, was startled by Si Bai's words. F***ck, Heilifeng, who was flabbergasted, glanced at Rainbow before sneaking a peek at his sister. Oh my god, this is bad. Could this little B***** have taken a liking to my sister? Heilifeng's expression was strange as he pondered this. Heilifeng was a little anxious. Why wasn't this little B*** following the rules? He looked at Rainbow's gentle and affectionate expression. She was really flirtatious, while Lin Yan looked silly. Although her sister did seem to have the upper hand in terms of appearance, Si Bai's behavior caught Rainbow off guard. She had thought that everything would go according to plan, but it seemed like Si Bai wasn't interested in her at all. Instead, he was interested in Lin Yan. If that was the case, how should the following plan be carried out step by step? Rainbow had no choice but to look at Xiao Yao quietly, hoping that he could give her some hints. However, Xiao Yao remained expressionless. He still had an ice-cold look on his face. Mr. Si Bai, time is precious. Let's play first. Rainbow grinned. Si Bai, who was startled, replied, you're right. Let's begin. Yes, let's play Fight the Landlord as Miss Get Rich mentioned just now. Si Bai walked to Lin Yan and chuckled softly. Miss Get Rich, I'm not good at Fight the Landlord. You have to show mercy, okay? Bullsh***. Lin Yan snorted coldly. How could he expect her to show mercy when he was playing cards with her? What kind of joke was this? Even if Pei Yuqing was here, she would make him lose everything. No, there are no fathers and sons in the casino. Heilifeng, who was standing next to Lin Yan, suddenly shouted. Everyone turned to look at Heilifeng. There were no fathers and sons in the casino? Who was the father and who was the son? No, no, no. I mean, there are no couples in the casino. No, no. Anyway, I can't show mercy. Otherwise, who would I win? Hilifeng blurted out anxiously. Who is this? Si Bai glanced at Hilifeng coldly. My brother. Lin Yen sighed. Oh, so it's little brother. The coldness in Si Bai's eyes dissipated, and he said with a smile, little brother is right. It's a casino. Either I win or you lose. You should be more serious. Can we begin? Xiao Yao said indifferently. We can, but how can we play landlord with 7 people? Asked the middle-aged man wearing glasses. Miss Rainbow is in charge of handing out the cards. As for the remaining 6, we'll split into groups of 3. The first to finish playing their cards will be the winner, said Xiao Yao. All right then. At the table, Rainbow began to deal the cards. Lin Yen, Si Bai, and the bespectacled middle-aged man formed a team, while Hilifeng, Xiao Yao, and another middle-aged man formed another team. Miss Rich, have you had dinner? Si Bai's gaze landed on Lin Yen as he asked softly. Yes, replied Lin Yen. Then, Miss Rich, do you mind eating another meal, or we can go to the bar for a drink later? Si Bai smiled. Lin Yen was taken aback when she heard that. She looked puzzled. Could it be that Si Bai didn't fancy Rainbow but fancied her instead? This was too obvious. He wanted to take her to dinner and invite her to the bar for a drink. Logically speaking, that shouldn't be the case, Mr. Si Bai, I'm free tonight. Rainbow handed the last card to Si Bai and gently stroked the back of his hand. Go home and sleep if you're free. Si Bai glanced at Rainbow. End of this chapter. Chapter 11-12. Rainbow forced a smile when she heard Si Bai's words, but she felt a little depressed. If this continued, she would definitely not be able to complete the mission that Xiao Yao had given her. At least for now, Si Bai had no interest in her. Si Bai's expression was very obvious. He wasn't interested in her. Instead, he was very interested in Lin Yen. At that moment, Rainbow was a little surprised. Since Si Bai hadn't recognized Lin Yen, it was enough to prove that Xiao Yao's spiritual imprint had worked. In Si Bai's eyes, Lin Yan's appearance should have been replaced by another appearance. Could this be a coincidence? In Si Bai's eyes, Lin Yen happened to be the one he liked? If that was the case, it might be troublesome. During the gambling session, Rainbow tried to get close to Si Bai, but Si Bai refused to budge. He didn't even look at Rainbow. Lin Yen, who was sitting next to Si Bai, had a strange expression on her face. Didn't they say that Si Bai liked beautiful girls? Wasn't Rainbow beautiful enough? Hey, look carefully. 4 aces. I've exploded. There's only 1 card left. Mr. Si Bai, do you want it? One of the middle-aged men smiled at Si Bai. Si Bai retracted his gaze from Lin Yen and looked at the cards in his hand. Si Bai frowned slightly. How big are we playing this round? Anyway, it's not small. It's several times bigger. The middle-aged man grinned. Why? Are you calculating how much money you're going to lose? Si Bai glanced at the man and placed the cards on the table. I can't afford it. Miss Lin Yen, do you want it? Asked the middle-aged man. Lin Yen looked at the cards in her hand with a sullen expression. No. Ha ha ha. Everyone, I'm sorry. It seems like we won this round. The middle-aged man's lips curled up as he prepared to throw the last card in his hand. Wait. Suddenly, Hilifeng exclaimed excitedly, I want it. I want it. Little brother, we're on the same side. Are you sure you want to play my cards? The middle-aged man glanced at Hilifeng. Nonsense. Look at what cards I have first. Hilifeng threw a pair of kings on the table. Watch carefully. Double the amount. Hilifeng chuckled. I still have 2 cards left. Is there anyone who can afford it? Lin Yan glared at He Lifeng. No wonder he was her younger brother. He was really digging a hole for her. Wang Bang doubled again. How much money would she lose? No one wants it. I'm going to play. He Lifeng drew out a card. A2. No, I can't afford it. Ha 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 ha. Little brother, you're having a good time. The middle-aged man glanced at He Lifeng in admiration. Did I say that I'm the king of fighters? He Lifeng sneered arrogantly. 4 sevens. Just as He Lifeng was about to throw away his last card, Xiao Yao said softly, it's doubled again. I still have 2 cards left. He Lifeng and the middle-aged man grinned smugly. That was twice as much. Lin Yan gritted her teeth and glanced at Si Bai. This guy was just a money boy. Why was he on the same side as him? Wasn't she helping him give money to others? A3. Xiao Yao threw out a 3. Chapter 11-13. Hold on. What card? A 3? Lin Yan, who had been listless, perked up instantly. He Lifeng and the middle-aged man, who were Xiao Yao's accomplices, froze when they saw Xiao Yao throw out a 3. I bet that you don't have a 4. Xiao Yao stared at Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded. You made the right bet. However, even though my last card isn't a 4, it's a 7. If I play a 3 against you, how many streets will I be able to chase you? Lin Yan tossed the last little 7 card out. Did you win? Si Bai had obviously come back to his senses. Big brother, do you know how to play cards? The middle-aged man who was with Xiao Yao stood up agitatedly. She only has 1 card left. Why did you play a 3? Can't you play another card? Xiao Yao flipped the last card in his hand and threw it on the table. The last card is also a 3. The middle-aged man, who was startled, scratched his head in frustration. Unfortunately, we were unlucky. If only you hadn't blown it up. He Lifeng stared blankly at the last 3 in Xiao Yao's hand. Then, he picked up the 3 that Xiao Yao had thrown out and frowned. Wait a minute, let's think about it. Can't these 2 3s be played at the same time? For example, a pair of 3s? The middle-aged man was startled. He slapped his forehead and glared at Xiao Yao. That's right. Why didn't you throw them all away? Why did you break them apart one by one? Xiao Yao replied expressionlessly, I like it. He Lifeng was speechless. The middle-aged man was speechless. Ha 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 ha. You have to admit defeat. Pay up. Si Bai sneered coldly. Sister, I'm bankrupt. He Lifeng felt like crying. I'm not playing anymore. I'm not playing anymore. Stay away from gambling and cherish my life. I didn't expect that I would be defeated by a useless teammate. He Lifeng felt a chill run down his spine as soon as he said the word useless teammate. He Lifeng glanced at Xiao Yao's cold gaze and glanced at the middle-aged man. It's all your fault. Useless teammate. The middle-aged man, who was originally angry, immediately became furious. Who are you calling a stupid teammate? What does it have to do with me? Isn't it Xiao Yao? After sensing Xiao Yao's cold gaze, the middle-aged man said bitterly, You're right. It's all my fault. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei family, a certain study room. Pei Yucheng slumped against the desk and the book in his hands fell to the ground. Miss Get Rich Lin, we are indeed great partners. It's only the first round and we've already won so much. I'm very happy today. Why don't we go to the bar for a drink tonight? Si Bai glanced at Lin Yan and chuckled softly. Lin Yan was startled. She wanted to speak, but she couldn't. It was as though her consciousness had been suppressed, and her body couldn't move. It was so familiar that Lin Yan had an ominous feeling. A second later, Lin Yan's eyes snapped open, and a cold glint flashed across them. Miss Get Rich Lin, if you don't want to go to the bar, you can go to my house. I have a collection of rare and expensive red wines that are only reserved for fated people. Do you want to try them at my house? Si Bai glanced at Lin Yan. Lin Yan turned to Si Bai. Are you saying that you want me to go to your house for a drink? Si Bai grinned. Does that mean that Miss Get Rich has agreed? Chapter 11:14. As Si Bai spoke, he gently placed his palm on the back of Lin Yan's hand. F***CK. Although Lin Yan couldn't speak or control her body, her consciousness was very clear. However, when she knew that Pei Yuqing was behind her, she felt that something was amiss. Indeed, Si Bai had said something shocking the next second. He had asked her to go to his house for a drink. At this moment it was even more outrageous. He had actually grabbed her hand. In a sense, it wasn't her hand that he had grabbed. Si Bai had grabbed Pei Yuqing's hand. Are you there? Listen to me explain. Lin Yan wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Even if she wanted to explain, how could she explain? It was a long story. Lin Yan could communicate directly with Pei Yuqing's consciousness, but Pei Yuqing didn't have the slightest desire to communicate with her. Lin Yan looked at her hand and then at Si Bai's hand. Pei Yuqing's eyes flickered with a bone-chilling glint. Before Pei Yuqing could do anything, He Lufeng leaped to his feet. There was a loud slap. He Lufeng strode forward with a cold expression and slapped Si Bai aside. Who are you? How dare you tease my sister in front of everyone? He Lufeng glared at Si Bai coldly. A second later, Si Bai's eyes landed on He Lufeng. The smile on his face disappeared and was replaced by a gloomy expression. He Lufeng hissed coldly, "What are you looking at? Do you think I'm afraid of you?" "Good brother." Lin Yan was touched. "Can't you wait until I can't see before you tease my sister?" He Lufeng turned around awkwardly. "All right, I can't see now." Lin Yan was speechless. "Miss Get Rich, your brother is really humorous. It's getting late. Why don't we go to my house for a drink? What do you think?" Si Bai glanced at Lin Yan again. "Sure." Lin Yan replied expressionlessly. Rainbow was astonished. This wasn't going according to the script. Wasn't she the main character of The Honey Trap? This didn't give her any room to perform. Si Bai's face lit up when he heard that Lin Yan had agreed to his request. "That's great. I believe that Miss Fortune will be very satisfied with our wine. Then what are we waiting for?" Lin Yan stood up and glanced at Si Bai. Just as Si Bai and Lin Yan were about to leave, Xiao Yao stopped them. "We'll play another day. Move aside." Si Bai looked at Xiao Yao. However, Xiao Yao stood where he was and had no intention of moving aside. "Take Kaihong to your house for a drink and give her to me," Xiao Yao said expressionlessly. Lin Yan scrutinized Xiao Yao as soon as he finished speaking. They were quite popular. "Heh, Xiao Yao, that won't do. I'm not interested in that lady. If you're interested, you can keep her for yourself. Hurry up and get out of the way. Don't delay me from going back to drink with Miss Get Rich," Si Bai said with a sneer. Xiao Yao nodded. "Then there's no room for discussion." "No discussion," Si Bai said. Since there's no room for discussion, Xiao Yao's gaze gradually turned cold. "Then there's no need for discussion," Xiao Yao said indifferently. "What do you mean?" Si Bai was puzzled. However, before Si Bai could finish his sentence, Xiao Yao's heavy fist smashed into Si Bai's body like a mountain. In an instant, Si Bai was pressed to the ground. "Stop acting. It's boring," Xiao Yao said expressionlessly. End of this chapter. Chapter 11:15. Everyone, including Rainbow and He Lufeng, was taken aback when they saw Xiao Yao suddenly attack and knock Si Bai to the ground with one blow. "Hey, why aren't you acting? Does that mean I don't have to pay the money I lost just now?" He Lufeng asked hastily. Lin Yan hadn't expected Xiao Yao to fall out with her for no reason. Of course, Xiao Yao falling out with her wasn't the main point. The main point was that she had to explain to her man. Did you hear that? We were acting. Acting. Lin Yan explained hastily to Pei Yucheng. Where's the camera? Lin Yan quipped. It's not acting. It's purely acting. I'm just acting, Lin Yan explained hastily. Pei Yucheng's gaze landed on Si Bai. He had found this man familiar at first glance, but he hadn't had time to think about it. Pei Yucheng sized him up and recalled that he was the man who had made things difficult for Lin Yan previously. He was also an evolved being who could control ferocious beasts. He captured my friend. However, he's very powerful, so we plan to use a honey trap and poison him to force him to reveal my friend's whereabouts. However, the main character of the honey trap isn't me. It's that girl. He glanced at the rainbow behind him. I don't know what he's thinking. How could he fall for me? Lin Yan sighed helplessly. Pei Yucheng's expression softened a little. He has good taste. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yucheng glanced at Xiao Yao. This is my boss. He helped me a lot. Lin Yan explained hastily. I'll give you two choices, said Pei Yucheng. What? Lin Yan was startled. Change your job or change your boss, replied Pei Yucheng. Lin Yan was speechless. What was the difference between changing jobs and changing bosses? Could this king of jealousy be jealous of her boss? However, Xiao Yao hadn't done anything. I want. Lin Yan glanced at He Lifeng. What do you want? I want to change my brother. Pei Yucheng was speechless. It's you? Before Lin Yan and Pei Yucheng could continue talking, Si Bai, who had been knocked to the ground, stood up slowly and glanced at Lin Yan. It seems that Mr. Spiritual imprint has been removed. Rainbow said thoughtfully. Xiao Yao, you actually tricked me. You used a spiritual imprint on me. Si Bai restrained his emotions and sneered at Xiao Yao. Yes, Xiao Yao replied indifferently. Oh, it's actually her. I understand now. The corners of Si Bai's mouth curled up slightly. While no one was watching, he grabbed Lin Yan. Si Bai's right palm grabbed Lin Yan's shoulder. Lin Yan glanced at Si Bai expressionlessly. Have you had enough? Lin Yan didn't move at all, but Si Bai's right palm was instantly blasted away. It was as though he had been hit by a huge force. However, Si Bai didn't have time to think. He grabbed Lin Yan again, intending to take her away. However, before Si Bai could get close, Lin Yan's eyes darted around. Immediately after, a strong gravitational force burst forth, and Si Bai's entire body rose into the air as if he was suspended in midair. This is, Si Bai glanced at Lin Yan in surprise. Why didn't you tell me that your friend was captured? Pei Yucheng asked Lin Yan. I was afraid that you would be distracted. I didn't know if you would be in danger in the Pei Corporation, Lin Yan explained. End of this chapter. Chapter 11:16. Pei Yucheng replied, nothing is more important than you. Lin Yan was speechless. When are you coming back? Asked Lin Yan. However, Pei Yucheng didn't reply. In a few seconds, Lin Yan realized that she had regained control of her body. He left? Lin Yan was stunned when she regained her mobility. Lin Yan realized that Pei Yucheng had appeared suddenly and left without any warning. She had many questions that she hadn't had the time to ask. Miss Lin Yan's ability is very powerful. Before long, two middle-aged men walked over to Lin Yan and sized her up in surprise. The bespectacled middle-aged man seemed to be very interested in Lin Yan's evolved ability. Lin Yan felt a little helpless. She didn't deny that he had praised her, but the evolved ability had nothing to do with her. It belonged to Pei Yucheng and had nothing to do with her. Sister, didn't you say that your body has evolved? How can you still use? Yes, mental power, This is mental power, right? It's too scary. He Lifeng stared at Lin Yan, his eyes filled with excitement. Before Lin Yan could speak, she heard a loud thud as Si Bai fell from the sky and landed on the ground. After Pei Yucheng's consciousness left, his evolved power naturally lost its effect. Si Bai wanted to retaliate, but he was restrained by Xiao Yao. Lin Yan's gaze landed on Xiao Yao. Hadn't he said that Si Bai was his friend and it wasn't convenient for him to attack? How could it be inconvenient for him to attack? He looked like he wanted Si Bai to die immediately. Ha. Xiao Yao, I really fell into your trap. Si Bai, who was suppressed by Xiao Yao, sneered coldly. That's why you've been plotting against me from the beginning. Xiao Yao didn't respond to Si Bai. Instead, he glanced at everyone and said, "Thank you, everyone." Rainbow and the two middle-aged men immediately understood the meaning of Xiao Yao's words. We'll leave first then. Xiaofeng, you should go back first. Lin Yan glanced at He Lifeng. Sister, the money I lost tonight. He Lifeng stood at the door and spoke to Lin Yan. Lin Yan was speechless. I'll return it to you when we get back, Lin Yan replied helplessly. Only Lin Yan, Xiao Yao, and Si Bai were left in the mansion. You've set up a trap from the beginning. Tell me, what's your motive? Si Bai glanced at Lin Yan and Xiao Yao. This is a matter between the two of you. It has nothing to do with me, Xiao Yao said indifferently. Si Bai, I should be asking you what your problem is. If you have a problem, come at me. Don't harm my friend. Lin Yan glared at Si Bai. What do you mean by harming your friend? Si Bai asked. Si Bai, how is my friend now? Lin Yan frowned. How would I know about your friend? Si Bai sneered. Where did you take my friend? Lin Yan's eyes were icy cold. Who said that I captured your friend? Si Bai glanced at her. I really don't understand what you're talking about. Si Bai, you'd better cooperate. You should be aware of the current situation. I have the final say on your life and death, replied Lin Yan. Even so, I didn't capture your friend, Si Bai said. You didn't capture him? Lin Yan frowned. Of course not. Why would I capture your friend? Si Bai asked. Chapter 11:17. Lin Yan stared at Si Bai for a long time. She didn't believe him. Zhang San and Li Si had said that Si Bai had planned to attack the people around her. Not long after, Wang Jingyang had disappeared completely, as if he had vanished from the world. How could Lin Yan believe Si Bai when he said that he hadn't captured the people around her? Si Bai, you don't have to pretend. This is between us. If there's anything, let's be frank. There's no need to implicate innocent people, Lin Yan said coldly as she stared at Si Bai. Si Bai sneered coldly when he heard Lin Yan. What you said makes sense, but you might have misunderstood something. I just said that I didn't capture your friend. No matter what you do, my answer can only be the only one. Si Bai, let me tell you the truth. I received news from the Hunters Guild that you planned to attack the people around me. After that, my friend disappeared. Do you think there's such a coincidence in this world? Lin Yan glanced at Si Bai. Lin Yan didn't mention Zhang San and Li Si. The two brothers had helped her a lot, so she couldn't betray them. Why? Do you have people in the Hunters Guild? Oh, right. There should be people in the Hunters Guild. The vice president of the headquarters should be one of your proud test subjects, right? Si Bai grinned. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't waste everyone's time. Hand over my friend and I'll let you go. It's a fair deal. Lin Yan stared at Si Bai. Lin Yan was only worried about Wang Jingyang's safety. She wasn't in the mood to analyze what Si Bai had said. She didn't have the time or patience to explain what Si Bai had misunderstood. Are you serious? I'll hand him over. Let me go, said Si Bai. Lin Yan nodded. I'll keep my word. As long as my friend is safe and sound, I'll let you go. All right, I'll take you there. Sibai smiled. Xiao Yao, let go of me. Otherwise, how can I take you there? Xiao Yao's gaze landed on Lin Yan as he replied calmly, most likely. What do you mean? Lin Yan was puzzled. There's an 80 to 90% chance that he's lying to you. Xiao Yao said, he's stalling for time and using the opportunity to find your friend to escape. Before Lin Yan could speak, Sibai laughed. Ha ha ha. Xiao Yao, you're not me. How would you know what I'm thinking? Perhaps I really kidnapped this woman's friend. Actually, this deal is very fair, isn't it? I'm even more certain now. Xiao Yao glanced at Lin Yan. I'm lying to you. Lin Yan glared at Sibai, wishing that she could cut the man in front of her into 1,000 pieces. This was really an unexpected disaster. She didn't even know him. Sibai, you'd better not test my patience. My patience with you is reaching its limit. Veins popped out on Lin Yan's forehead. Although Lin Yan wasn't 100% certain that Sibai had something to do with Wang Jingyang's disappearance, she was 80% certain that it had something to do with him. If she couldn't find Wang Jingyang and get any useful clues from Sibai, Sibai wouldn't have it easy either. I told you the truth, but you didn't believe me. TSK. I really have no choice. Sibai smiled and said, I don't even know who your friend is. You should tell me who your friend is first. Perhaps I can remember. End of this chapter. Chapter 11-18. Lin Yan glanced at Sibai and told him about Wang Jingyang. Sibai was startled when he learned the identity of Lin Yan's friend. The man that Lin Yan was talking about was obviously the super-evolved being that night. The reason Sibai hadn't done anything to Lin Yan was because that man had been by her side, so Sibai hadn't dared to act rashly. You said. I captured him? Sibai glanced at Lin Yan. Are you joking with me? Do you think I'm joking with you? Lin Yan frowned. Sibai sneered coldly when he heard Lin Yan. Ha ha ha. The man you're talking about wasn't captured by me. I think he might have just gone somewhere for a vacation. Sibai really didn't know who could capture an evolved being of that level. At the very least, he didn't have the ability to do so. Hence, it was obvious that this woman had found the wrong person. This matter had nothing to do with him. At that moment, Xiao Yao gently placed his left hand between Sibai's eyebrows before retracting it. He shouldn't be lying. Your friend's disappearance probably has nothing to do with him. Xiao Yao glanced at Lin Yan. How do you know? He's too cunning. Lin Yan didn't believe that Sibai would tell the truth. No matter how cunning he is, he can't escape my spiritual perception in his current state. He isn't lying, said Xiao Yao. Are you sure? Lin Yan was surprised. I'm sure at the moment unless he made himself lose the memory of capturing your friend, said Xiao Yao. Sibai, you really didn't capture Wang Jingyang? Lin Yan composed herself. Xiao Yao is very clear, right? Sibai glanced at Lin Yan and smiled. If I really captured your friend, do you think I wouldn't dare to admit it? At that moment, Lin Yan was a little flustered. If it wasn't Sibai, who was it? Although Lin Yan didn't believe Sibai, she believed Xiao Yao's words. According to Xiao Yao, he would definitely be able to sense it if Sibai lied. Hence, from the looks of it, Sibai wasn't lying. He hadn't captured Wang Jingyang. Are you sure your friend's disappearance has something to do with evolved beings? Xiao Yao asked Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded at first before shaking her head. Initially, Lin Yan had been very sure. However, if Sibai hadn't done it, she wouldn't be so sure anymore. If it was done by an evolved person, they could still find out, but if it wasn't done by an evolved person, after so many years, Lin Yan had gotten to know Wang Jingyang very well. He didn't have any friends or female friends, let alone enemies. Even if someone wanted to murder him, Wang Jingyang wouldn't even have a coin in his wallet. Looking at him would be an insult to her. He didn't have any enemies, didn't have a girlfriend, and was extremely poor. He never caused any trouble. What could happen to such a person? Wang Jingyang's disappearance was definitely not as simple as it seemed on the surface, nor could it be some kind of coincidence. The last time Lin Yan had spoken to Wang Jingyang, he had said that he had something important to do. If he knew what Wang Jingyang was up to, perhaps. However, Lin Yan didn't have a clue at all. Go back first. Xiao Yao interrupted Lin Yan's thoughts. What about him? Lin Yan's eyes trailed to Si Bai. End of chapter. Chapter 11-19. Let Si Bai stay with me for now. I still need some time to confirm if my judgment is wrong, said Xiao Yao. Lin Yan nodded in response. For now, that seemed to be the only way. It was impossible for her to let him go. Before Wang Jingyang's matter was resolved, she couldn't let Si Bai leave so easily. Even if Wang Jingyang hadn't been involved, Lin Yan would still have to settle the score with Si Bai. No matter what Si Bai's motive was, or if there was a misunderstanding between the two of them, she had to resolve it. After leaving Xiao Yao's villa, Lin Yan walked to Cloud Manor. Lin Yan didn't drive or take a taxi. Her mind was in a mess, and she needed to sort it out. Si Bai was her best friend. She couldn't let anything happen to Wang Jingyang. However, Wang Jingyang had been missing for so long, but she didn't have any clues. She had thought that she would be able to get news of Wang Jingyang after taking down Si Bai tonight. Who would have thought that things would develop like this? During the years she had spent abroad, Wang Jingyang had always been by her side. The two of them could be described as relying on each other for survival. They had suffered together, enjoyed happiness together, fought together, and been beaten together. When Lin Yan had been at her lowest and most helpless, they had walked in the wind and rain together. They had shared a piece of meat with each other. Although they weren't related by blood, they were closer than siblings. She had already lost her brother, so she couldn't lose Wang Jingyang as well, regardless of whether it was an evolved person or a non-evolved person. If anyone hurt Wang Jingyang, she would make that person fall into the abyss. Lin Yan suddenly stopped in her tracks and gazed ahead in astonishment. The young man's body was floating in midair, and his eyes were moving slowly. Under the moonlight, he looked a little strange. Evolved person, Lin Yan was startled. Lin Yan could sense an oppressive aura emanating from this young man, which made it difficult for her to breathe. Beautiful lady, we meet again. The man's gaze landed on Lin Yan. After sizing her up for a moment, his body slowly landed on the ground. Although Lin Yan's face was expressionless, she was extremely wary. I don't think we know each other. We've never seen each other before. Huh, not really. I saw him some time ago when you were driving, the man said with a smile. Lin Yan was startled when she heard that. She suddenly recalled that something had chased after her, Wang Jingyang, and Xiao Ji. At that time, she thought it was a big black dog that was very fast. Anyway, she didn't see it clearly. Why are you looking for me? Lin Yan asked the man. Miss, there is something that my lord needs on you. Please come with me. Of course, you don't have to worry, I won't hurt you, the man said with a smile. I don't have anything with me, replied Lin Yan. Huh, beautiful young lady, whether you have it or not, it doesn't matter to me. Only my master can judge. Young lady, please come with me, the man said. What if I don't go with you? What will you do? Lin Yan glanced at the man. End of chapter. Chapter 11-20. The man seemed to be in a dilemma when he heard Lin Yan. He glanced at Lin Yan and sighed. Beautiful lady, it's better not to make things difficult for me. You're not only making things difficult for me, but you're also making things difficult for yourself. Don't you think so? Lin Yan stood rooted to the ground and didn't say anything. However, her gaze never left the man. Who is your master? Lin Yen asked the man. The man smiled and gestured for her to keep quiet. I have no obligation to tell you this. You said that I have something you need? Lin Yen pressed on. Is there a misunderstanding? She had nothing on her other than her wallet. An evolved being of this level had stopped her in the middle of the night and wanted to take her away. He couldn't be trying to snatch her wallet. We'll find out whether you have what we need after we bring you back. You shouldn't be asking about this. The man smiled. Then there's no room for discussion, replied Lin Yen. Discussion? The man was taken aback. Why? Do you think I'm here to discuss with you? Lin Yen seemed to have thought of something. She glanced at the man who was walking toward her and asked tentatively, Did you capture a friend of mine? Even if Si Bai hadn't been behind Wang Jingyang's disappearance, Lin Yen was certain that it had something to do with evolved beings. Some time ago, these people had chased her car. Coincidentally, Wang Jingyang had been in the car, so Lin Yen suspected that they had captured Wang Jingyang. Your friend? The man's eyes were filled with confusion. Who is your friend? Why don't I know? Lin Yen felt a little disappointed when she saw the man's reaction. It seemed like Wang Jingyang's disappearance had nothing to do with them. Lin Yen sighed helplessly. Si Bai's matter hadn't been settled yet, but now, another person had appeared. The most annoying thing was that Lin Yen didn't know either Si Bai or the man standing in front of her. Since there's no room for discussion, there's no other way. Lin Yan's expression gradually became determined as she watched the man walk over. Tisk, beautiful lady, I advise you not to make a move. You should know the gap between us. If you don't listen to my advice, then, before the man could finish his sentence, Lin Yen turned around and fled. In the blink of an eye, she had vanished without a trace in the dark. The man had thought that Lin Yen would fight him head-on, but he hadn't expected her to escape without warning. You run away with such an imposing manner? The man is stunned in place. Wasn't she ready to make a move just now? Why didn't this woman play according to the routine? Does this evolved human really have something that Master needs? The man looked a little confused. A moment later, the man leaped and disappeared into the night. A few minutes later, Lin Yen stopped and surveyed the area behind her. When Lin Yen turned around, she realized that the man was following her at a leisurely pace. The man didn't look fast, but Lin Yen couldn't shake him off. What is this? Shrinking into an inch? Lin Yen was shocked. If she was right, the man should be walking slowly, as though he was enjoying the scenery. Chapter 11:21. Just walking alone was faster than her full speed? Lin Yen believed that she was faster than a car on the highway. How could that man be faster than her? Why aren't you running? Lin Yen had just stopped when the man's teasing voice came from behind her. It's so late. Can't you go home and sleep early? Didn't your mother tell you that staying up late is bad for your health? Lin Yen stared at the man with a frown. Without giving the man a chance to speak, Lin Yen pressed on. Do you really think I can't beat you? So you've given up on escaping and are prepared to fight to the death? Asked the man. It seems like you have a misunderstanding of my strength. Lin Yen sneered coldly. She couldn't outrun him, but that didn't mean that she couldn't beat him. At the very least, she had many glorious achievements. Misunderstanding of your strength? The man grinned. Do you have a misunderstanding of your own strength? Then cut the crap. Let's do it. Whoever is beaten to death tonight will be unlucky, said Lin Yen. All right. The man nodded. How about this? I'll only attack once. As long as you can withstand it and not get hurt, I'll let you go. I won't pester you anymore. Lin Yen sneered coldly. You're too arrogant. You want to take me down with one blow? All right, as long as you're happy. This man was looking down on her too much. Lin Yen realized that this man should also be a physical evolved being. Since they were both physical evolved beings, there was nothing to be afraid of. She was only annoyed by that kind of evolved being with a brain. Their fighting style was very strange. Their fighting style was simple and violent. They would raise their fists and attack. Whoever was afraid was a coward. As long as he wasn't an evolved being with brains like Pei Yucheng, she had nothing to be afraid of. I'm going to attack. How are your preparations? The man stared at Lin Yan, the corners of his mouth curling up. A second later, the man's speed reached the limit. When he took a step forward, the ground nearby shook violently. In the blink of an eye, the man was already beside Lin Yan. A second later, he threw a punch at Lin Yan. Before the punch arrived, the wind from the punch had already arrived. Lin Yan's eyes filled with disbelief as she faced the indescribable power of an evolved being. This was the first time Lin Yan had realized how wrong she had been. She had thought that she could at least fight a few rounds with this man. When the man struck, Lin Yan realized that she couldn't even withstand a single blow from him. The thought of fighting him for a few rounds was a complete joke. Before Lin Yan could snap out of her daze, a figure flashed in the dark. A second later, a handsome young man appeared in front of Lin Yan. Swoosh! The youth struck out with his palm, and a terrifying dragon roar seemed to resound in the surroundings. The young man and the man's fist collided violently, like two stars colliding. Invisible waves of air rose up, dust flew everywhere, and the surrounding trees collapsed in groups. Pfft! The man staggered backward, and after barely managing to stabilize himself, he coughed up a large mouthful of blood. The man's face was as white as a sheet as he stared in shock at the young man who stood beside Lin Yan. Who are you? The man wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and looked at the young man cautiously. Despicable brat, do you think you are worthy of knowing my name? The young man coldly spoke. All right, all right, all right. The man was enraged as he sneered. Since you chose to be my master's enemy, you will pay the price. The man turned around and fled, disappearing into the night. Chapter 11:22. You want to run? Dream on. The young man snorted coldly as he tried to chase after him. However, he had only taken a few steps when the young man turned back and said, "You're lucky. I'll spare your life." Lin Yan finally snapped out of her daze and stared at the young man in astonishment. Thank you, little brother. Lin Yan thanked him. Senior sister, I finally found you. The teenager didn't care about what Lin Yan had to say. He hugged her waist and buried his head in her arms. Lin Yan lowered her head and stared at the young man in confusion. Which mental hospital did this expert come from? Hold on. What did you call me? Lin Yan glanced at the young man. Senior sister. The young man peeled his head away from Lin Yan's arms and gazed at her with his big, watery eyes. Senior sister? Lin Yan was puzzled. Your master. What's his name? The young man was startled and frowned. Senior sister, master is master. How can you call him by his name? Lin Yan was speechless. Senior sister, I've finally found you. That's great. Master will be thrilled to see you. The young man gazed at Lin Yan and waved his hands excitedly. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan stroked her chin and stared at the young man. You called me senior sister. Are you an aerodynamics student at MIT? However, judging from the young man's age, he didn't seem to be one. She had never seen him before. What do you mean by zoology? I didn't call you senior sister. I called you senior sister. Senior sister, what's wrong? Don't you recognize me? I'm Bai He. Bai He blurted out anxiously. Little brother, did you get the wrong person? Lin Yan replied helplessly. She had never seen this person or heard of his name before. Aren't you Sister Xiaoyan? Bai He stared at Lin Yan. Xiaoyan? Lin Yan was startled. Tell me your full name. I don't know. The young man shook his head. Lin Yan was speechless. My name is Lin Yan, but I don't think I'm Sister Xiaoyan, replied Lin Yan after some thought. You really are Senior Sister Yan. Senior Sister, why don't you recognize me? Do you have some difficulties? Tell me. I will avenge you. The young man clutched Lin Yan's arm tightly. I'm really not. Lin Yan sighed heavily. You're my senior sister Xiaoyan, he said hastily. You're my senior sister Xiaoyan. You doted on me the most when I was little. How could I not recognize you? The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. This child was stubborn. She had already said that she wasn't his mother, but he still wouldn't give up. He claimed that she was his senior sister. Why couldn't she be his mother? The teenager refused to leave Lin Yan's side, as though he was certain that Lin Yan was his senior sister. No matter how Lin Yan tried to explain, it was useless. Senior sister, come back with me. The youth tugged at Lin Yan's arm. Where do you want me to go with you? Lin Yan sighed heavily. Let's go back to the mountain, Bai he said. Where is the mountain you mentioned? Asked Lin Yan. I have a map of the mountain. The young man grinned and began to search his body. A moment later, Bai's smile froze. Senior sister, I'm doomed. My map is gone. I lost my map. Only the special map of the mountain can help me find the sacred mountain. What should I do? Bai was on the verge of tears. End of chapter. Chapter 11:23. The reason he had been able to leave the sacred mountain and find this place was because the sacred mountain had a map. Without that map, he wouldn't have been able to return to the sacred mountain. Although the white crane knew the approximate location, he had to pass through the forbidden area without a map. Given their capabilities, they would definitely die if they entered the forbidden area. Hold on. You said that you came down from the mountain and found your way here, right? Lin Yan asked the white crane. The white crane nodded eagerly. Yes, senior sister. Lin Yan nodded. Can't you go back the way you came? You have already been there. Why do you need a map? Senior sister, I was too busy playing along the way. I didn't remember the way, replied the white crane. Is it very far? Asked Lin Yan curiously. It's very, very far. It's not in this country. If we travel at top speed, it will take a month, replied the white crane honestly. Lin Yan's head was throbbing. She couldn't understand most of the young man's words. He had mentioned that he wasn't in this country and that he needed to travel at top speed. Why don't I buy you a plane ticket and you can take it back? Asked Lin Yan. The young man looked puzzled. Flying chicken? Yes, a plane. Lin Yan nodded. Senior sister, I grew up on the mountain, so I haven't seen much of the world. What kind of chicken is a flying chicken? Asked the white crane curiously. Lin Yan stood rooted to the ground in shock. How could he be ignorant? He was completely out of touch with modern society. What kind of plane was it? It was a plane. Was it a fighter jet? You don't know about planes? Lin Yan stared at the white crane in surprise. Do you know about phones? I know about phones. They are used to communicate, but we don't have such things in the sect. I had a phone too, but I was too busy playing when I left the mountain. I lost it, replied the young man. Lin Yan was speechless. He knew about phones, but he didn't know about planes. All right, it wasn't completely out of line with modern society. It could barely be considered as half out of line. You lost your map and phone. What do you plan to do? Lin Yan gazed at the young man who was as pure as water. He was like a blank piece of paper. She couldn't bear to see him die. No matter what, this young man had saved her. Hearing this, the young man shook his head. I snuck down the mountain and even lost the map. I don't know what to do. Senior sister Yan, please take me back. Lin Yan couldn't be bothered to explain her identity to the young man. No matter what she said, the young man insisted that she was his senior sister. There was no point in explaining, so she had to save her breath. I don't know the way, replied Lin Yan. He panicked. Then what should I do? I haven't eaten for a few days. I'm so hungry, and I don't have a place to rest. Come with me. Lin Yan replied helplessly. Chapter 11:24. This year. I don't know. The young man shook his head. I'm in my teens. I don't think I'm 30 years old. Lin Yan glanced at the young man. Do you know how old I am this year? How old? Asked the white crane curiously. Less than 100, replied Lin Yan. The white crane nodded thoughtfully. Oh. As they chatted, the dishes were placed on the table. Senior sister, it smells so good. The white crane's eyes sparkled as it stared at the dishes on the table. Lin Yan felt helpless as she watched the white crane wolfing down the food. Was this the reincarnation of a hungry ghost? Senior sister. Eat. The white crane muttered as it ate. Lin Yan glanced at the table and quipped, Didn't you finish all the food? The white crane wiped its mouth and grinned. Senior sister, I'm sorry to have made you spend so much money today. I don't have any money with me. When I have money, I'll treat you to a good meal. That's not important. What do you plan to do in the future? Lin Yan stared at the white crane as she asked. Lin Yan didn't know much about the young man, so she couldn't understand what the white crane was saying. Lin Yan thought that the young man must have recognized the wrong person. However, the first time might have been a coincidence, but the second time might be a little strange. Bai had misunderstood her and claimed that she owed him 10 billion yuan. However, who was this young man who had appeared out of nowhere? Lin Yan swore that she didn't know this young man at all. This was the first time they had met. Lin Yan had a nagging feeling that something was amiss. Had she really bumped into someone? Or could it be that her memory was incomplete? Especially recently, every time she fell asleep late at night, she would always dream of scenes that did not belong to her. When she woke up, she would forget most of them, but she always felt that they were familiar, as though they had met before. Even so, Lin Yan still thought that it was ridiculous. It was utter nonsense. Lin Yan naturally wouldn't take dreams seriously. Bai and the young man in front of her had mistaken her for someone else and misunderstood her. She wanted to find out more about it. Senior sister, who was the man who attacked you tonight? The white crane stared at Lin Yan and asked. I don't know him either, replied Lin Yan. You don't know him? He was puzzled. If you don't know him, why did he attack you, senior sister? I'm not sure either. He only said that I might have something that his master needs, replied Lin Yan honestly. Even now, Lin Yan was still puzzled. What was on her body? Senior sister, do you have anything valuable on you? Could it be that you've been targeted by someone? He asked again. That's impossible. I don't have anything valuable on me. Lin Yan was certain. What kind of joke was this? Would she carry anything valuable with her? Furthermore, she did not have anything valuable. Moreover, an evolved being of that level could not possibly stoop so low as to rob money. That would be a disgrace to all the evolved beings in the world. There were all kinds of evolvers, but she had never heard of one robbing money. Oh yeah, what are your plans? Lin Yan cut to the chase. The white crane leaned in front of Lin Yan and stared at her with its big, watery eyes. It said in a childish voice, I want to stay by your side, senior sister. Anyway, the map has been lost. Senior sister, you don't know the way back. Lin Yan was speechless. End of this chapter. Chapter 11:25. Lin Yan felt helpless. How could she explain to this young man that she wasn't his senior sister and that he had mistaken her for someone else? Ahem. Bai He, I have to tell you something very serious. Lin Yen stared at the young man. The White Crane nodded. Senior sister, go ahead. Lin Yen looked serious. I'm really not your senior sister. You've mistaken me for someone else. Do you believe me? The White Crane's expression changed when he heard Lin Yen. No, no, no. I don't believe you. Senior sister, you're lying to me. Do you think that I'm a glutton? It's a waste of money to raise me. I can earn money. You're my senior sister. You can't abandon me. Lin Yen was speechless. If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, Lin Yen wouldn't have believed that this delicate young man, who liked to cry, was actually a powerful evolved being with an extremely high level of evolution. All right. You can think whatever you want. As long as you're happy. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. No, I want you to say it yourself, senior sister. The White Crane tugged at Lin Yan's arm. What do you want me to say? Lin Yan was confused. Senior sister, you have to say it yourself. You have to say that I'm Bai He's senior sister, Xiaoyan. I dote on you the most. The White Crane quipped. Lin Yan was speechless. Pardon me for asking, but can I not say it? Lin Yan stared at the White Crane. No. The White Crane shook its head repeatedly. Lin Yan sighed helplessly. I'm Bai He's senior sister, Xiaoyan. All right? One more thing. I dote on you the most, said the White Crane. I dote on you the most, said Lin Yan as she pinched the White Crane's cheek. It felt good. Her face was full of collagen. It was good to be young. Senior sister, you've finally admitted it. Why did you say that I had mistaken you for someone else? The prettier a woman is, the less trustworthy she is. The White Crane pursed its lips at Lin Yan. Lin Yan was speechless. Wasn't he the one who forced her to say this? The White Crane added, Senior sister, that evolved being isn't weak. You have to be careful. I think he will try to snatch you again. It's a pity that he escaped today. Lin Yan was puzzled as well. The young man was much stronger than that man. Given your abilities, it should be easy for you to catch up to him, right? Lin Yan voiced her doubts. Yes, it's very easy. The youth nodded. Then why, I'm afraid of the dark, Bai He said. Lin Yan was speechless. Late at night, somewhere several young men and women seemed to have appeared out of thin air. Among them, a woman dressed in red let out a bell-like laughter. Heh, you even dare to touch my little sister. Soon, another gloomy voice sounded in the dark night. He said that little sister has something that his master needs. The woman smiled disdainfully. Then let him and his master leave this warm world together. Hee hee. A man's hoarse, sinister laughter echoed in the dark night. Interesting. This is too interesting. Anyone who touches my little sister will die, ha ha. Father must be furious to see his little sister being bullied like this. Shut up. As he spoke, a tall man in a luxurious suit walked out from the darkness. Boss. The young men and women nodded when they saw the man. End of this chapter. Chapter 11:26. The man was dressed in a luxurious suit. His face was expressionless as he glanced at the siblings beside him. At that moment, their gazes landed on the man who seemed to be the leader, waiting for him to speak. After a few breaths, the man said with an expressionless face, Don't tell father about little sister for now. As soon as the man's voice fell, everyone present was stunned. Boss, you should know father's personality. If we don't report it and father finds out, I'm afraid. The woman in red looked at the man in the suit. I think boss is right. We know father's personality too well. If father finds out, there will be a huge uproar. Father is too hot-tempered. Hee hee, a man laughed sinisterly. Boss, can you represent father? You should know father's feelings for little sister. If father finds out about this, are you going to be responsible or are we going to be? Hearing this, the man in a luxurious suit fell silent. His gaze fell on the person who spoke, sizing him up for a long time. So, the man in the suit said coldly, "You're questioning me." "Second brother, boss must have his reasons for doing this. I think we should figure out the situation first before deciding whether to tell father." The woman in red walked forward and smiled. Pfft, the man who was addressed as second brother glanced at the man in the suit and said nothing more. "Find the person who threatened little sister's safety. I don't care what you do. Find out the reason, including the person behind him," the man in the suit said calmly. As soon as the man finished speaking, the young men and women who were standing around instantly disappeared. In the dark night, the man in the suit's eyes were cold. "Little sister, you've suffered all these years. Dozens of miles away." The man's face was pale as he wiped the dried blood from the corner of his mouth. He could not understand how a young man with an extremely high level of evolution would appear out of nowhere. If the young man had not interfered, he would have brought the woman back with him. Master would punish him severely if he returned without accomplishing anything. "Who is it?" Halfway through, the man's expression changed slightly as he looked around vigilantly. Hee. I was wondering what kind of thing it was. How dare such a piece of trash hurt my sister? In the dark of the night, a sinister laugh spread through the entire place. The ear-piercing sound made everyone's hair stand on end. A few breaths later, several young men and women walked out from the darkness. The man didn't care at first, but when he saw the faces of those men and women, his body couldn't help but tremble, and disbelief and fear appeared in his eyes. You are," the man instinctively retreated. These young men and women did not have any special evolved aura on them, but their faces were too recognizable. Every single one of these men and women who had suddenly appeared was a vicious villain in the world of evolvers. Even many of the monster-level evolvers from the Holy Land had died at their hands. Every single one of them dared to commit violence in front of the Hunters Guild's president, and the Hunters Guild dared to be angry but did not dare to say anything. "Ah, little brother, I have something to ask you. Don't be naughty." The woman in red looked at the terrified man and the corners of her lips curled up slightly. Her face was full of charm and it was as if her eyes were filled with a harmless gentleness. End of chapter. Chapter 11:27. At this moment, the man took a deep breath and tried his best to restrain his emotions. How could these people appear in this place? Furthermore, why would they personally appear to block his path? Logically speaking, this shouldn't be the case. Not only that, but the most ridiculous thing was that these people actually appeared together. Is there a misunderstanding? The man glanced at the young man and woman in front of him as cold sweat broke out on his forehead. "Brother, you plan to attack our little sister. How could this be a misunderstanding?" The woman in red chuckled softly. "She's our favorite sister. Didn't you understand the situation before you attacked her? Your little sister?" The man was puzzled. "I didn't. Wait. Are you saying that Lin Yen tonight is your little sister?" "Lin Yen?" The woman in red was puzzled. "That's strange. Isn't little sister following the Mu family's surname? Shouldn't she be called Mu Yen?" "She's called Lin Yen now." "I'm afraid the Mu family doesn't know what happened," the man replied calmly. "Even I'm a little confused, let alone the Mu family. Little sister's matter is indeed too complicated. I'm afraid even father hasn't figured it out." The woman in red grinned. "Let's resolve the matter at hand first." The woman in red grinned at the terrified man. "Do you have anything to say?" "It's a misunderstanding. I didn't know that she was your sister." "If I had known," at this point, the man was slightly taken aback. So what if he knew that Lin Yen was the sister of these monsters? That was his master's order. He finally understood. No wonder an ordinary, low-level evolved being couldn't possibly have something that his master needed. However, if Lin Yan was the sister of these monsters, perhaps she really had some secrets. Be a good girl and tell me who told you to do this. The woman in red walked forward and leaned in close to the man. She whispered softly in his ear. No. I don't. I don't know. The man's eyes were filled with panic. He couldn't reveal his master's identity. Otherwise, not only would he die, but all his family would die because of him. So you're saying that no one asked you to attack my sister? It was all your own idea, right? The woman's bell-like laughter was like some kind of magic spell, causing the man's mind to become more and more flustered. The woman in red in front of him was charming and gentle, like water, but the man had seen her information. The man knew very well what the real situation was. This woman in red was as cruel as an abyssal demon. She did not have a shred of humanity. I can't say. After a moment, the man clenched his teeth and said. If he didn't say anything, he would be the only one to die. If he did, it wouldn't be as simple as just one person dying. Little brother, are you really not going to say it? The red-clothed woman smiled. If you don't say it, I will turn you into a puppet. Jia, you have enough puppets. Let me bring him back. I will make him speak. The man who was addressed as second brother laughed sinisterly. The woman in red's expression changed slightly. She looked at the man and said, Little brother, you should know who he is. If he takes you away, he will eat you. At this moment, the man's whole body has been wet with cold sweat, no matter what, he can't say. The woman in red waved her hand and knocked the man unconscious. She then threw him to the man called second brother. I'm not interested in his face. You take him away. Chapter 11:28. The man who had been addressed as second brother glanced at him and chuckled sinisterly. I'm not interested either. However, for little sister's sake, I'm willing to get some information out of him. If second brother is willing to ask, I believe that this person will tell you everything he knows. At this moment, a burly man who looked to be at least 2 meters tall spoke. Of course. Our second brother is ruthless. This kind of person doesn't have a strong will. If second brother is willing to help, there will definitely be no problem. The woman in red chuckled softly. Hee, the man chuckled sinisterly. However, you guys know that father doesn't like me using vicious methods to interrogate evolved beings. Don't let him know. Besides, I'm doing this for little sister. Since little sister has appeared, I want to meet her, said the burly man. Let's see what happens to little sister all these years. We don't know what happened to her. Let's tell father about her first and let him decide, said the woman in red. All right. Lin Yan naturally didn't know about this small interlude. At that moment, Lin Yan had already arrived at Wang Jingyang's apartment with the white crane. Senior sister, is this your house? The white crane sized up the place curiously. This is my friend's house. You can stay here for the time being, Lin Yan told the white crane. Initially, Lin Yan had planned to bring the white crane to Cloud Manor. However, on second thought, she felt that it wasn't appropriate. After all, Lin Yan wasn't sure about the white crane's identity. There was only one thing she could confirm. This young man was an evolved being with a very high level of power. It wouldn't be appropriate to bring him to Cloud Manor. During this period of time, Wang Jingyang had disappeared, so this apartment had been empty. It would be a good choice to arrange for the white crane to stay here. Senior sister, where is your friend? Asked the white crane curiously. The luster in Lin Yan's eyes dimmed when the white crane spoke. She had thought that she could find Wang Jingyang through Bai, but now, she realized that things weren't as simple as she had imagined. Wang Jingyang's whereabouts were unknown. My friend is missing, Lin Yan told the white crane after some time. Missing? He was slightly stunned when he heard this. Then, he said, then what should we do? Lin Yan sighed heavily. I don't know either. I've been looking for him for a long time, but there's been no news. I'm just afraid that senior sister, are you afraid that your friend will die? The White Crane asked. Although Lin Yan didn't want to admit it, she was afraid that Wang Jingyang was no longer alive. Sigh, what a pity. Senior sister's friend is a man, right? His relationship with senior sister must be very good, he said softly. How did you know? Lin Yan was startled. She did not tell the White Crane about Wang Jingyang. Senior sister, I have no choice but to know. This room is filled with your photos. Take a look yourself. He pointed at the photos hanging on the walls. Lin Yan instinctively scanned her surroundings. In Wang Jingyang's apartment, there were many photos of her and Wang Jingyang in the past. Senior sister, was your friend captured by someone or something? He asked again. I suspect that someone took him away, replied Lin Yan. End of chapter. Chapter 1129. The White Crane pondered this for a moment before it asked Lin Yan, Senior sister, do you need help? I can help you look for your friend. Lin Yan's expression changed as she stared at the White Crane in astonishment. This young man could help her find Wang Jingyang? Are you serious? Lin Yan asked anxiously. Senior sister, when have I ever lied to you? I'll definitely help you if I say I can. The White Crane nodded. Before Lin Yan could speak, the White Crane added, Senior sister, I have to say this first. If you think that your friend is no longer around, it's better not to look for him. Otherwise, you'll feel bad when you find his corpse. If you don't look for him, at least you'll have something to think about. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched when she heard the White Crane. This kid really knew how to talk. I want to see him if he's alive. If he's dead, I want to see his corpse. Even if he's really dead, I want to bury him with my own hands. Lin Yan looked determined as she gazed at the White Crane. All right then. The White Crane nodded. Since you've said so, I definitely won't have a problem. What do you plan to do? Lin Yan's gaze landed on the White Crane. As long as you can really find my friend, I'll owe you 2 huge favors. The first favor was that the White Crane had saved her tonight. Senior sister, I can't guarantee that, but I can try my best, replied the White Crane. I believe you, replied Lin Yan. Lin Yan had seen the White Crane's evolved body with her own eyes tonight. If the White Crane said there was a way, there would definitely be a way. Regardless of whether she could find Wang Jingyang or not, she had to give it a try. The White Crane walked into the bedroom and opened the wardrobe. He took out a set of pajamas and sniffed it. Lin Yan was speechless. What kind of fetish was this? The White Crane frowned and mumbled, Why do I sense the aura of a genetic evolution? What? Lin Yan asked curiously. The White Crane shook its head. Nothing. The White Crane found it amusing. A genetic evolution shouldn't be possible. If that friend was really a genetic evolution, who would have the ability to capture him? That was the limit of the body's evolution. It was absolutely impossible. Senior sister, there's a trace of your friend's aura on the clothes. I should be able to find it, he said. Lin Yan was speechless. Was he born in the year of the dog? The White Crane was indeed exaggerating. So what if it could smell the scent on Wang Jingyang's clothes? How could it possibly locate Wang Jingyang based on that scent alone? What kind of perverted ability was that? If it's just an ordinary aura, I might not be able to find it, but... he pondered. But what? Asked Lin Yan. Your friend's aura is a little special. You could say that he's 1 in a million, he said. Huh? Lin Yan was startled. Was Wang Jingyang's aura that special? Sigh, I can't say for sure. I feel that it's the smell of genetic evolution. Forget it, let's try everything we can. Let's go look for it, he said. Gene evolution? Lin Yen was confused. She had no idea what the white crane was talking about. Senior sister, you can understand genetic evolution as a super evolver. It is a very, very scary rare evolver, Bai he said seriously. Chapter 1130. Lin Yen stared at the white crane in shock. Was this brat serious? A super evolved being? Extremely terrifying. Extremely terrifying. A super rare evolved being, who was it? Wang Jingyang? The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. If what the white crane had said was true, how could Wang Jingyang, an extremely terrifying evolved being, have been captured? Are you having a fever? Lin Yen asked softly. No, I won't get sick, replied the white crane. Did you just say that my missing friend is a terrifying evolved being? Asked Lin Yen. The white crane rubbed its nose and smiled awkwardly. Senior sister, I didn't say that. This aura is very weak, so it's normal to make a mistake. I don't think so. If he was really a genetic evolved being, who could capture him? Lin Yen heaved a sigh of relief. The white crane's words were exactly what she had thought. She had known Wang Jingyang for so many years. Lin Yen dared to say that she knew Wang Jingyang better than his mother. A super scary evolver, Pui, hold on. Is there such a possibility? Lin Yen suddenly frowned. For example, my friend has just awakened and become an evolved being? If that was the case, Lin Yen felt that there was some hope. If Wang Jingyang had always been an ordinary person and had only recently become an evolved being, it wasn't impossible, even though it sounded ridiculous. That's impossible. The white crane shook its head and denied Lin Yan's guess. It's not easy to become a genetic evolved being. The conditions are too harsh. Even some evolved beings with powerful genes can't become genetic evolved beings, let alone those who have acquired it, quipped the white crane. Lin Yen stroked her chin and pondered it for a moment. Then you must have made a mistake. Yeah. The white crane nodded. I think so too, but this is a good thing. At least I can find him based on this aura. When do we leave? What kind of preparations do we need to make? Lin Yen asked the white crane. Now, while the clothes still have some aura, replied the white crane. Late at night, Lin Yen sped along the road with the white crane. We're still far away. The white crane closed its eyes, and a dim glow appeared around it. Your ability is quite special, commented Lin Yen. When I was in the sect, all the senior brothers and sisters said that I had a dog nose. Bai he said. Lin Yen was speechless. Great minds think alike. At dawn, the white crane told Lin Yen to stop. Lin Yan's car had stopped at an intersection. This was a secluded area, and there was a deep forest ahead. Bai he opened the car door and looked around. Then, he sniffed the pajamas that he had brought along. The aura in this place is very strong. Strange, there are two similar auras. The white crane's expression was strange. Two identical scents? Lin Yen was confused. I don't know either, but that's indeed the case. It's just like a doppelganger technique. After saying that, the white crane walked forward. Although Lin Yen had no idea what the white crane was talking about, she had no choice but to follow it. For now, the white crane was her only hope. If even the white crane could not find Wang Jingyang's whereabouts, then perhaps, she would never be able to see Wang Jingyang again in this lifetime. End of chapter. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.